Miami, palm trees, neon lights, Lamborghinis purring down Ocean Drive. In this world of excess, a man steps out of a Rolls Royce. Bodyguards in tow, diamond rings flashing in the sun. He's draped in designer suits, speaks with the calm authority of old money, and introduces himself as Prince Khalid bin Al-Saud, direct from the Saudi royal family. If you're ready to uncover more secrets behind the world's most fascinating cons, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. That way, you'll never miss the next twist in the world of cons, and you'll always be one step ahead of the game. He walks with billionaire hotel owner Jeffrey Sofer. The prince orders pork, a meal that's forbidden in Islam. Sofer's radar goes off. In that moment, the mask slips. The game is on. But here's the twist. This prince isn't Saudi. He isn't even royal. His real name is Anthony Gignac. Born Jose Moreno in 1970 in Colombia, abandoned as a toddler and shuffled through orphanages before being adopted by a Michigan couple, raised thousands of miles from the palaces he claims to own. Growing up in the American Midwest, Gignac felt like an outsider, different, restless, and obsessed with the trappings of wealth that he saw on television. As a child, he fantasized about royalty and riches, convinced he was destined for more than his modest upbringing. By his teen years, he became obsessed with the trappings of power, first convincing a Mercedes dealer to hand over the keys for a test drive by claiming to be a prince, then leveling up to five-star hotels, private jets, and a life of luxury built on lies. Gignac's hunger for status and acceptance, fueled by a lifetime of feeling exclusive, drove him to create a fantasy world where he was not just accepted, but revered. For 3 decades, he plays his role to perfection. He forges diplomatic plates for his cars, hires fake bodyguards, and showers investors with the promises of oil deals, royal access, and unimaginable wealth. He's the sultan in the penthouse suite, the prince who tips $100 bills, the man who can open doors to the Saudi royal family if you grease his palm first. He convinces American Express to issue a $200 million credit limit, simply by threatening royal wrath if they refuse. He racks up bills at luxury hotels and spends $29,000 at department stores, and collects expensive gifts from would-be business partners, all while promising them a cut of the next big deal. His scams are as diverse as they are daring. Investment frauds, identity theft, and elaborate schemes that span continents. He's arrested 11 times for prince-related scams, each time reinventing himself, each time slipping back into the world of high society with a new alias and a fresh story. But the bigger the lie, the more the cracks start to show. Investors start to whisper, the FBI circles closer, and all the while, Gignac can't resist the spotlight, posing for photos, flaunting his wealth, living the fantasy with every breath. It all comes crashing down in 2017. Sofer's suspicions trigger an investigation, and the truth unravels fast. Gignac is exposed as a fraud, his royal persona shattered by a single meal and a mountain of evidence. The authorities seize his luxury cars, his fake documents, and his dreams of grandeur. In court, the story is laid bare. Over $8 million stolen and dozens of victims left in the dust, and a trail of deception that stretches back 30 years. The judge calls him the Prince of Fraud. He is sentenced to more than 18 years in prison, his empire of illusion finally crumbling. But the lesson lingers. Gignac's greatest weapon wasn't a forged passport or a fake accent. It was his understanding of human nature. He knew that the promise of royalty, wealth, and power could blind even the sharpest minds. In a world obsessed with status, he sold the ultimate fantasy for decades, and people lined up to buy it. That's the story of Anthony Gignac, the fake prince who ruled Miami high life, and the man that proved that sometimes the biggest con is simply giving people what they want to believe. With the prince's mask ripped away and the luxury cars impounded, Miami's elite are left reeling. But what made Gignac's royal fantasy so believable, even to the world's most sophisticated investors? Let's break down the psychology behind the Prince of Fraud's spell. Anthony Gignac's success began with an unflinching acceptance of human nature's ugly truths. As Simon Lavelle writes, the con artist's greatest weapon is not the lie he tells, but the truth the victim wants to believe. The real secret is that people con themselves. What we do is simply give them the opportunity. Gignac understood that beneath ambition and respectability, people are driven by envy, the hunger for status, and the desire to be close to power. He didn't judge these motives. He expertly read them. As Lavelle notes, you don't play the game, you play the man. The most successful cons are never forced. The mark's own desire and dreams do most of the work, eager to be a part of a world they always coveted. Gignac was a master impersonator, radiating confidence and charm, so enticing that his victims willingly suspended disbelief, while surrounding himself with the trappings of extreme wealth, luxury cars, private jets, designer clothes, and diplomatic plates. These cues triggered the halo effect, making him appear credible and authoritative. The spectacle of a Saudi prince mingling in Miami, lavish, mysterious, and dripping with wealth, was so out of place that it instantly captured attention. Things that are out of place, that don't make sense in a given context, or that confuse us will invariably grab our attention, and if exploited properly, will maintain it as well. This incongruity made people curious, eager to resolve the mystery, and more susceptible to suggestion. Gignac's cons followed the classic confidence game formula, the approach. He targeted the ambitious and status-obsessed, those who crave proximity to power and wealth, the build-up. He used luxury, etiquette, and an entourage to reinforce the illusion, the convincer. He dropped hints of exclusive deals, royal connections, and secret investments, often providing fake documents and elaborate backstories. The hoorah. He created urgency. Act now or lose access to this rare opportunity. The blow-off. When the truth emerged, many victims were so embarrassed to admit that they'd been duped, protecting Gignac's legend and ensuring their silence. For many, the sting wasn't just financial. It was the humiliation of being outwitted by someone who seemed to embody everything they aspired to be. Rather than directly asking for trust or investment, Gignac masked his intent behind the persona of royalty. He never made a direct ask. Instead, he let others discover his supposed status, making the idea feel like their own clever insight. As Blair Warren puts it, it is ultimately the masking of intent that makes them viable tools for change. Present that command or desire in such a subtle manner that it will either unconsciously or willingly be accepted by the other mind. By letting his targets draw their own conclusions, he bypassed suspicion and allowed his marks to convince themselves of his legitimacy. Status is one of the most powerful motivators in human psychology. Gignac's royal persona activated several hidden addictions. The need for power and status, proximity to a prince, made Miami's elite feel powerful, important, and exclusive. The need to know secrets, his inner circle believed that they were privy to privileged information and opportunities, fueling their sense of superiority. The need to be right. Once someone bought into the fantasy, their ego became invested in being right about Gignac's authenticity. Admitting doubt would mean admitting error, not just to others, but to themselves. Gignac's manipulation of status and exclusivity made his marks complicit in their own deception. Victims rationalized their actions, blaming circumstances or bad luck, rather than admitting that they'd been fooled. Their own desire for status and exclusivity made them complicit, ensuring silence and perpetuating the myth. People sometimes believe what they are told, but they never doubt what they conclude. Gignac's genius was in letting people believe what they most wanted to believe, turning even the sharpest mind into willing accomplices. Gignac's psychological success lay in his mastery of status cues, manipulation, and social engineering, while his victims' susceptibility stemmed from ambition, greed, and the allure of exclusivity, the promise of personal gain, or association with royalty. The desire to not lose out on a lucrative opportunity or offend a powerful figure. Social norms and embarrassment discouraged questioning or reporting the con. Gignac's con worked not because of flawless forgeries or perfect acting, but because he understood and exploited the deepest drivers of human behavior: the hunger for status, the thrill of exclusivity, and the power of suggestion. By letting people believe what they most wanted to believe, he made the fantasy irresistible and left a trail of broken dreams and empty wallets in his wake. What if the secret to getting rich wasn't in the stock market or real estate, but in tiny classified ads and a promise that anyone could strike it big from their living room? Next time, we dive into the rise and fall of Don Lepre, the self-proclaimed king of the infomercial, who sold hope to millions with late-night TV pitches and a dazzling smile. How did Lepre turn small ads into a multi-million-dollar empire? And why did this dream unravel in scandal and heartbreak? Don't miss this revealing story of ambition, persuasion, and the high price of believing in easy money. Subscribe now so you never miss the next unbelievable twist in the world of cons.